Hello, welcome to a brand new series. We're taking over Leeds United. This should be interesting. They like to play good, attractive football. Problem is lately, defensively, they've just not been good enough, which is why Bielsa's had to depart. I've decided to step in, see if I can improve on what they did last season. I mean, the club is full of history, but recently they've not done too well. I mean, as you can see, they were up there in the Prem, finishing 4th in 2000 to 2001 season, 5th the year after, and then it all went wrong. In 2003-04 they got relegated, stayed in the Championship for a bit, they got into the playoffs in 05-06, and then it just went downhill from there. But they're back on the rise now, as you can see. Trophy wise, in the past they've won 3 Premier Divisions, but the last one coming in 1992, so that was a long time ago. They got a couple in the Euro Cup, again a long time ago. So can we take a step further to that and get closer to it? Can we win Leeds United some trophies? We're going to find out. We're going to do a 5-year series here, and let's see what we can do. We'll find out now. Premier Division season preview. At the minute, we're predicted to finish 12th. 300 to 1 to win the division. I think for the first season we can finish in the top half, try and push for a Euro place. If we can, that would be great. Get them back into Europe. We just want to stay away from the relegation zone and see if we can finish in the top half at the very least. With the new update out, I have disabled the transfer window because the signings have all been made. I mean, Leeds United didn't really make any signings, which is not good. But I've sorted the tactic out. I've gone with a gegenpress because that is the style that they play. They do press everything, so we're going to go with that. And let's just have a look at the team. So I've gone with Rodrigo over Bamford, mainly because Rodrigo's got a bit more pace, but I just think, look at his stats as a pressing forward. I mean, he just looks good. His finishing's not great, but you know, he's been there. I'm sure he'll score some good goals, and we've always got Bamford as an option, so we do have 2 strikers, which Leeds United are struggling with at the minute. Rafinha, this is our key man. I mean, his stats are just crazy. I don't know how they managed to get him and how long they're going to keep him for, but he's definitely a very good player. Look at the 16s in here. Dribbling, first touch, technique 17. I mean, you just can't not play him. He's one of the key men in the division. And then we get midfield. I mean, it's a bit weak, if I'm honest. Dallas is 30. His stats, they're alright. He's got good stamina, work rate, natural fitness, teamwork, determination. So he's got all the key components for it, and he can play pretty much anywhere on the park. He can play right back, left backs. We're playing him centre mid at the minute, but it's a room for improvement. But we'll keep the team as it is. Calvin Phillips, a very good player. Again, he can play defensive mid, centre mid. I'm going to play him defensive mid. He's a deep line playmaker. I want him pulling the strings because he's the best centre mid we've got. And the defence, I mean, where to start with this one? We've got Luke Ayling. I mean, he's good, he's not great, but for the first season we'll keep him. Llorente, again, he's got good stats, to be fair, but not really room for improvement, to be honest. I'm sure we can do better over that, but he'll certainly come in handy. Junior Firpo, the new signing, coming from Barcelona. I mean, I'm hoping he's going to be a good player, but we'll see. And then the keeper, a very young keeper, who's had some, quite a good career, to be honest, playing for Leeds, when he played in the Championship. So they must have signed him in January. And he only cost them 5 million. I mean, that's a bargain for a 20-year-old goalkeeper. I mean, good signing. And he's certainly one for the future. The bench is a bit weak. And we've got Tyler Roberts. Shackleton's a young lad. Bamford here. Daniel James. Liam Cooper. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to fit into this team. So, it could be one that we look to ship out at the end of the season. But we'll wait and see. And then we've got 3 young players here. Charlie Cresswell. I mean, he's 18 years old, he can only improve. So we might play him in some cup games early on, try and get him a bit of experience. Any injuries, I'm sure he can fit in. He is a fairly decent defender, so he'll come in handy. Joe Gelhard. I mean, he's been playing quite a lot recently with the lack of strikers that Leeds have. He's not going to get many opportunities for me, I wouldn't have thought. Maybe cup games, maybe come off the bench if need be, if we're winning by a few, but we've got to try and get him on the bench first. Right, let's see. So, players in the last year of the contract. Not really any to worry about there, so that's good. That'll make a nice change. So, tactics, we've already done that. So let's see. What is the club culture? Play entertaining football. I'm sure we're going to do that. Play attacking football. We're definitely going to do that. And develop players using the club's youth system. Well, I've seen some of the youngsters that were there just on the outskirts of the team, so that's promising, and hopefully they can carry on producing players for us. 5-year plan. Let's see what their 5-year plan is. Increase commercial revenue. Well, I mean, it completely depends who we can buy and sell. Grow the club's reputation. Again, it's about finishing further at the league, to be honest. Sign young players to develop for profit. I do like signing some young players, like everybody, and selling them on if we have to, if the big money comes in. So we'll see. Expand the stadium, not something that I'll be doing. If it's something they want to look at, they can. Work within wage budget. I imagine Leeds United will have quite a good wage budget. We don't want to go over that. So let's see what they're saying for the end of current season. Top half finish they want. That's what I'm aiming for. Reach the 5th round of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Reach the 4th round. We'll see about that. Right. With that all done, I'm going to simulate the first season and let's see where we come. Okay, so as you can see, we finished 10th in the league. We finished in the top half. It's something we was expecting. We wanted to be a bit further up, but we're only we're 10 points off West Ham. Only 5 points behind Tottenham, and not too far off Wolves and Everton. It's just 2 points. The goal difference is quite good, 13. Not really a match for these though, is it, the big boys? We only really beat West Ham, but it's a plus, so we can't complain at that. Let's see how we started off. I mean, there's a few reds down at the bottom. Pre-season friendly. We did very well in all of them, to be honest. So, can't really complain at that. We didn't start off too great. A couple of draws. Although we lost. Big 3-3 with Manchester City. It's a good result for us. Beating Chelsea. Can't complain at that one either. Good result. Thrashing Newcastle. I mean, their spending power over the summer is going to be crazy. So the longer we can keep them behind us, the better. We lost to Wolves, a team who finished above us as we just saw. We should be beating teams like this. We can't afford to lose it. We then beat Manchester United 2 games in a row. We didn't just beat them in the first one, it was 4-2. So a very, very good result for us. And knocking them out of the cup, especially last kick of the game by the look of things, makes it even better. Tottenham, who finished above us, just. We drew. But we didn't lose, so we can't complain at that. But then we lose to Palace, we lose to Everton. We draw with Burnley, we draw with Brighton. Carabao Cup quarter final there, be interesting. Thrashed by Liverpool. Lose to Newcastle this time. In fact, we didn't win a game for about January. That's a shocking month for us. Knocked out by Fulham. Knocked out the semi-final by Chelsea. Oof. February just as bad as well. In fact, March didn't really improve till the 19th when we finally won. So that's shocking. Not one win in those games, that's terrible. That's something we need to improve on, so maybe that could be fitness levels. Maybe we need to improve the squad a little bit more, bulk it out, because we haven't got the biggest squad. But we ended quite nicely with a 3-0 win against Chelsea, lost to Leicester, and a 2-0 against City at the last game of the season. So we went out on a high at home, which is good. 37, nearly 38,000 there watching us. So good result for them to watch. Competitions. As we know, we finished 10th, but the teams that were below us just kept Leicester, Burnley, Palace, Norwich. These are some of the teams we were losing against. And then Everton, Wolves, Spurs, West Ham. I mean, we wouldn't expect to lose to these teams. We wouldn't expect to beat them all the time, but again, we was expected mid-table. We finished 10th. It's bang in the middle. We can't really complain at that. We've not done great in the cups. Well, that cup, the FA Cup anyway. The Carabao Cup semi-final. It's a shame we couldn't go on and win it, but you know, we wasn't really focusing on the cup. Just grabbing one would have been nice. You never know what next season can bring. So, how did the players get on? So, goal scorers. Well, as we know, Rodrigo's 22 goals. Very helpful. There's a few spread out, not many. I mean, Rafinha got 12, Harrison 10, Bamford only got 5. I mean, he didn't play too many games, to be honest. Not great. I mean, if we're bringing him on as a sub, he needs to be scoring more than that. Who else? Dan James. Again, he was more of a sub. But 4 goals, 4 assists is something that needs improving. I mean, his stats are not exactly great. Apart, if we take your pace off him, he's not really a player. I think it's somebody we could look at cashing in on, because his finishing's not going to improve, let's be honest. He's never been a great finisher. Tyler Roberts with 2, another player he's not. I mean, he's our 3rd striker, he's not great, but 2 goals from 3 sub appearances, so I mean, he should have made more by the look of it. So we'll see. Well, looks like a couple of players went out on loan over the summer, in January, sorry. So Joe Gelhardt, he went to Swansea. He started 5 games, 9 sub appearances, scored 2 goals, got 1 assist. I mean, he's played, he's experienced it. he might need to go out on loan again, I think. He probably won't get in our team. Charlie Cresswell. I mean, he played 20 games in the Championship. 3 assists. Not bad for a centre-back. He was at Coventry. Not one of the best teams in the league, so good experience for him. Somerville. 5 starts, 5 sub-appearances. I mean, it's 10 games, playing for Bristol City, another established team in the Championship. It's not bad. It's not looking great, but he's 21. Will he improve? Who knows? I think we need a few signings. The squad is stretched very thin. Apart from Bamford and maybe Liam Cooper, there's not many other players to get into this squad. So I'll come back at the end of the transfer window and see how we got on. Hello, welcome back. The transfer window's closed. Let's see what signings we made. So we actually made 3 signings in this window. We've gone for Rennan, a new left back. He's only 20 years old. Unfortunately, he has handed in a transfer request. Part of the deal, unfortunately I couldn't get rid of it. He wanted me to improve midfield. I've signed a defensive mid. He's not happy with it, so he's handed in his transfer request. As you can see, 36 mil is what his transfer price is. We only actually paid 9.5, going up to 12.75, so it's not too bad. But I'm going to try and keep hold of him best I can. So I don't really want to sell him. I mean, like I say, he's only young. He can play centre back, he can play left back. We'll see what happens in the next few months. When he starts playing, he might decide that he don't want to leave anymore. Okay, another signing. 9 mil. Another Brazilian. It's normally where you get all your bargains from. It's 11. And this lad is a right back. He's 21. He didn't really have a right back, to be honest. My right back is, I think he was 29, 30. He's getting on a bit. He was out of contract. We extended it for another year. But realistically, hopefully this lad will take us forward and improve. I mean, you can see his stats for a wing back. It's He's a pretty good player. And for 9 mil, you can't really complain. And the defensive mid I was telling you about, Nico. We know who he is. We know where he's come from. He's not cost me that much. But it means Calvin Phillips can then move into central midfield. And hopefully he can stay back, protect the defence, and see how we go from there. In fact, there was one more signing I made. 3 more signings actually that I forgot about. We got Eze, signing from Palace. They got relegated. I thought another winger would be a good option, because we didn't have many. I mean, we had Dan James, but this lad, he's better, I think. We got another young striker, Sesko. I mean, you can see he's a wonder kid. In fact, you can see he's scored 2 goals, one in the Carabao Cup and one in the Prem as a sub, so it's not a bad start for him. He's finishing his first touch need improvement. Quite a lot of it does, to be honest. But we'll get him there. I mean, he's valued 39 to 57 million already. He only cost us 10, going up to 13.5. And another player from Salzburg, 19.5 mil. A big outlay. And it's Solé, 22, ball playing centre back. It's just what we wanted. One for the future, he's one for now as well. And he could lead us to many big things, hopefully. And he could only get better, as long as he plays well and we play well. So they're the players that are in. I mean, 46.5 mil spent there. As you can see, another 35.5 mil there, so we spent quite a bit. Big money. Robin Koch's gone to Besiktas. He wasn't playing. He wasn't going to play. So 10 mil, may as well take it. Helder Costa. He was out on loan when we took over the club. He came back, didn't want to be here, so 7.5 mil, cashed in. Couldn't get much more. Did try, but it's just wasn't meant to be. Tyler Roberts has gone. Kiko Casilla's gone. He was on quite a lot of money. We were lucky to get 600k, to be honest. And as you can see, some youngsters here have gone out on loan. Got a loan fee for them, so I can't complain at that. Oh, Dan James has gone as well to Swansea. I don't know how they're managing to pay his full weekly wage, but they are. So, good for them, really. He's going to play week in, week out, and hopefully his price will go up. We'll look to sell him. I did try selling him. Nobody wanted him. So, I think a loan move's best for him. Competitions. We've actually been knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the second round by Norwich. That's terrible. I mean, I thought we were going to go further than that. We didn't. It's pretty bad. And league table, we've played 4, we've won 2, lost 2. We've beat Fulham and Leicester. And we've lost to Arsenal and Liverpool. We're conceding quite a lot of goals here. And I thought we'd, improved the defence. Obviously not. So it's not very good. I mean, we started off pre-season, we were flying. I mean, a 14-0 win here, a 12-0 win. I mean, they're not great teams. I mean, only one there. We started off fairly well. We beat Leicester 2-0, a team we didn't beat last season. And then it just went downhill. A 2-1 loss to Norwich. I mean, it looks like we scored the last kick of the game. Just a consolation goal. Liverpool utterly dominated us. Beating Fulham, I mean, we shouldn't be losing to teams like that, so it's a good win for us considering we've lost a few. But we've got 2 of the better teams out of the way with. And, I mean, City and Chelsea here. I think let's see how we get on the rest of the season and find out. Hopefully, I want to be in the top 7, I'd say. Or even, I'd take 8th or 9th and winning the FA Cup, seeing as we're at the Carabao. So let's see if we've improved the squad enough to do things like that. Let's have a look. Okay, welcome back. The end of the second season. Let's see how we got on. Competitions. As we know, the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out in the second round. FA Cup, we got all the way to the semi-finals. And we got knocked out by the eventual winners, Liverpool. So, 2-0. I mean, it's another semi-final run. We can't complain. Have we beat any big teams in the run up to it? Let's find out. I don't think we have, to be honest. I mean, Sheffield United, Burnley, Stoke, no, we haven't. But never mind. It's a semi-final. We got there. We just need to push that a little bit further and hopefully get to the final and then go on and win it. Right, into the Prem. How did we get on in the Premier League? We finished 8th. So, we're 5 points again behind Tottenham. But we're that one step further this time. Or one step closer, should I say. So, 54 points. Our goal difference is not very good this time. So we're either conceding more goals or we're not scoring enough. Let's find out. We scored 56 and conceded 53. Last year we scored 64 but only conceded 51. So we've scored less. We've also conceded a few more as well. Only by 2. So something wrong with the attack, I think. So the teams above us. Everton have gone up there this time. West Ham dropped down here. Wolves dropped down there. They were 2 teams that finished above us. Leicester are down there. They were right behind us last time. So we've done better than what they have. But we still need to push. Schedule. Let's have a look. So we know we didn't start off very well. We then got beat by Wolves. It didn't exactly go much better. And then we went on a little bit of a winning run. So Sheffield United, Watford, Brighton. And then another terrible month near enough. Loss. Villa beat us 5-0. I mean, that's embarrassing. Especially for where we want to be. Lost to West Ham. Drew with United. Can't complain at that one. Lost to Newcastle. Lost to Everton. We beat Spurs. That's good. Drew with Watford. Now we beat City again. So we can beat them. We also beat Liverpool. So that's a big game for us and a big result. 2 draws here. 1 against Leicester, 1 against Spurs. I mean, we need to start turning some of these draws into wins. But what I've noticed is we are conceding a lot of goals. It seems to be when we're either losing or drawing. When we win, we don't seem to concede too many. So that's something to look into. And then the last month, that's when we really lost it, to be honest. Lost to Arsenal, lost to Fulham. I mean, they just finished just below us. And we drew with Wolves last game of the season. So we need to work that one out. Try and stop that from happening again. We could do with moving on. So we've got another £55 million transfer budget. So they're backing us. They want us to spend. So we'll see. I mean, Does he still want to leave? I don't say. He's not played every game, so he's been out the team. He's also dropped in price, so he's definitely not been playing that often. All his stats are reducing, so that's not good. But again, he wasn't happy, he didn't want to play. So that he's played near enough every game. A good rating as well, just over 7. He's a good player, only going to get better. How did Nico get on? Nico's stats, some have reduced, some have, they've done alright. Just under 7 he played out altogether. So he's played 30, scored 1 and assisted 1. I mean, it's not why I bought him. I bought him just so we could play Calvin a bit further up the field. So how did he get on? He only scored 1, assisted 6, and he didn't even play at 7. He weren't far off. But, I mean, last season he played as a defensive mid. He scored more, only assisted 1 less, and got a player of the match. So, maybe we should drop him back again. Can Nico play in the centre mid? He can. Maybe we should swap them over for next season. Something to look into. Rafinha. 14 goals, 8 assists. I mean, I can't complain at him. He played well. Rodrigo, did he play? Yeah, he only scored 8 though. He's dropping now. It might be time to cash in on him. I mean, he's not played too many. I mean, what, 7 games less? But look at the goal drop off. 11. 3 assists less. 2 player of the matches less, and his rating's gone from 711 to 699, so he has dropped off. So, something to look into. Eze, he didn't play very often, by the look of things. I mean, most of his were sub-appearances. He scored 2 goals, assisted 3, and he only played at 6.72. Well, that's worrying. I thought he'd do better than that, but he might improve next season. Sesko. He scored 9 in 26, 2 assists. His rating was quite good. So to buy him, I mean, he should be playing next season then, if we look at it that way. I mean, he's improved a bit. He's still only young, he's still only 20, so... Patrick Bamford, 14 sub-appearances. I think it's time to cash in on Patrick. He's wanted by Burnley, so I don't think he'll go there, but you never know. Renan. 24 appearances he made. His average rating was pretty poor, if I'm being honest. 1 assist. I mean, he could play centre back, he could play left back. He started 18 games, 6 sub appearances. He's only going to improve, but we'll see. Is it worth changing the tactic? Maybe a little bit. Should we change some of it? Or should we just change the way the striker is? Well, Sesko's best. He's a pressing forward. So, if we put him in, because we want him playing, put Eze in, click. He's 32. I think it's time to start replacing him as well. So, I think Nico. I think we'll swap Nico and Calvin Phillips around. See if Phillips is a bit better at protecting that back 4. I mean, mind you, Stuart Dallas has been playing quite a bit, to be honest. He's just good in a number of positions and worth keeping hold of. For now. I know he's 32, but if we can keep hold of him. And we've got Junior Firpo here as well. He's played a few games, not very well. So there's a few positions that need improving. I mean, centre back's not one of them, to be honest. Maybe get a spare centre back, a young upcoming one, ready to take over. I think another centre mid, and maybe we could do with just a couple of extra players to have in the squad, because the squad's still quite light. Let's take out the 7 subs. We've only got 4 players available, so we could do some of these squad players. But we need to improve this team, especially defensively. The reserve in judgment for entertaining football and attacking football, but they're happy with the development of youth system and signing players under 23, so that's good. The 5-year plan, while growing the club's reputation, they're pleased with how that's going. We're on course with the wage budget, they're satisfied with the young players to develop for profit, sign players to sell for profit, the reserve and judgment. I mean, we've only had one transfer window really. A minimum 4-year contracts for first team players. I think you don't always get that option. It depends how old they are. So they're expecting us to sign fairly young players on a 4-year contract, then they want us to sell them, but they also want us to develop them. I mean, you know, it's one of them. We can only do what we can. End of next season, they still want us to be a mid-table Premier League team. So there's not a lot of pressure, to be honest, because as we can see, it's not really changing over the next few years. They just want us to continue being an established Premier team, which, with the amount of time out of the league, you can't really blame them. So I'm going to go away, make some signings, try and improve the squad a bit more. You never know, somebody may have to leave. We'll see who is unhappy and see who we can improve with. Okay guys, so transfer window's now closed. Made a couple of signings, not too many. Pretty difficult to make some signings, to be honest, with Leeds this time. I think we need to get into those European places. Some of the players were unhappy in the squad. A lot of players turned me down. I mean, I thought it'd be easier, but let's try and get into Europe, get that reputation going, and hopefully we won't get turned down. Anybody we kind of went to sign, Newcastle just signed them, so they're going there for the money. But with the money that they spent, I think I saw something before, they spent 202 million, something like that. I mean, we can't compete with that, but we did make one signing early on. We brought in James Ward-Prowse for initial 7.5, raising up to 10.5 mil. I mean, we needed another centre mid. He's a very, very good player, so it's not a bad signing. I mean, he's on 80k a week, more than what I would like to pay for somebody, but you know, we've got to get this type of player in. I mean, his stats just show everything: corners, crossing, free kick taking, passing, technique, work rate, teamwork, determination, leadership, aggression, natural fitness, stamina. I mean, can't really complain with somebody like that. He's made 2 appearances in the Prem so far, scored a goal and assisted 1, so a very good player. And you can see his stats for Southampton. He got 8 assists in the season they got relegated. So he's already scored more goals for me than he did for them last season, and equalled the season before that when he only scored 1, so it's not a bad start, to be honest. Who else did we bring in? We got a young lad on a free transfer from Benfica B team. He's not a bad player. I mean, I'd like to play him centre mid. He can play centre attack if we needed. I mean, he's not going to play yet. I tried loaning him out because he's just signed. He wasn't interested in going anywhere, and teams weren't interested in him. But his stats are pretty decent so far. I mean, he's only 19. He can only get better. So not a bad player to take on. I think his career stats for Benfica B: 9 goals in 32 games, 8 assists. But his average rating is very, very good. So that's one to look forward to. Angelo, I know it's another Brazilian, but he had a release clause, 17.75 mil. And when you look at him, you'll understand why I signed him. I mean, we've got Rafinha on the right wing here, but we didn't have anybody back up. And this lad, if Rafinha decides to leave at the end of the season, which he tried, he wanted to leave. I offered him a new contract. He accepted it. So we've got him under contract. But this lad looks good. 18-year-old. Can only play on the right, but he can play up front if I need to. So one to look for. I mean, he needs to improve his long shots. But apart from that, his stats are pretty decent. He's not a bad player. He didn't score any in Brazil in 11 games. The season before that, he got 18 and 46 with an average rating of 7.29. His ratings have gone worse so far, 687, but I mean, he wanted to leave, so we can't complain about that. And Tino Livramento, we all know who he is. Southampton, again, they got relegated. They wanted 44 mil for him. I offered him 21. They put it up to 26. I'm not going to say no to that. I mean, look at him. Who wouldn't want this lad here? He's 20 years old. I don't know why Chelsea sold him. They clearly just want to buy players rather than invest in the future talent. But they'll probably buy him back in the future, you never know. But his stats are just incredible. Pace, stamina, strength's pretty good, natural fitness is alright, acceleration, crossing, dribbling, first touch, technique, work rate, determination. 20-year-old right back. I couldn't say no to that. And players were leaving. Dan James went to Aston Villa. Rodrigo went to Sassuolo. He was on 100,000 a week. Couldn't afford to keep him. And he didn't play very well last season. He's 32 now, I think. Yeah, 32 years old. He wasn't really going to play that much for me, and he wasn't going to improve anyway. So it was time to cash in while I could. Liam Cooper. Unfortunately, I didn't really want to get rid of him. I just didn't have a lot of choice. But I knew he was somebody who was good for the club, just like Luke Ayling. He went on a free transfer. Completely forgot he was running out of contract, to be honest. But he's doing alright there. So maybe it's for the best. Patrick Bamford. Yes, I've just let him go out on loan to Southampton. Problem is they didn't replace him. He went on the last day of the transfer window. But looking at the squad, it's looking fairly decent now. I mean, we've got 2 very good right backs with cover who can play everywhere. Centre backs, Charlie Creswell's been playing, or he can play. Brought him back to the club, keep him here. He's gone out on loan a couple of times, but his stats look good, so give him a chance. Patrick Schick signed him up to a new deal again. So hopefully, again, 24, one for the future. We've got a few players for the future now, so that's good. But let's see how we get on. We really, really need to push on. And we've pre-season again. We're not playing anybody decent. I mean, that's probably the hardest challenge we had, but we won, so that's good. But we lost first 2 games of the season in the Prem. It's not a good start, especially losing to Watford. But we did beat Newcastle in the Cup, so we might make another Cup run. We just never know. We need to certainly do something. What is our season preview? We're expected to finish 9th, 151 to win the league. So I want to be in the top 7 at the very least this time round. I mean, we're in the bottom 3 at the minute. The goals against is not very good again so far, but we'll find out. Let's go over, get this season out of the way with, and see where we finish. So we've just finished season 3, and looking at the league table, again we finished 8th, 3 points outside this time. We're only 3 behind Brentford and Arsenal, and only 6 off United, so that's not too bad. Look at Everton up there in 4th, equal on points with Man City. I mean, they've had an amazing turnaround, really. Frank Lampard's still in charge. He certainly is. He's doing a very good job there. But what about us? Where's our downfall this time? I didn't check goals this time. We scored 59, conceded 53, so we're still conceding quite a lot of goals. In fact, Leicester, Brentford and Leeds all had +6 goal difference. So we need to improve that. We got thumped 6-1 by Villa. I mean, that's not good. Out the cup. All our losses seems to be quite big. We've drawn a lot of games as well. Drawn with Arsenal. Beat Tottenham. Hey, we drew with Liverpool this time. Lost to City. Drew with City. It's not too bad. Beat by United. Beat by Liverpool. I mean, beat by Hull, that's embarrassing. Drew with Spurs, beat Arsenal again. Lost to Chelsea last game of the season, so if we'd have won that, we could have got into the top 7. I mean, it could have been better, let's be honest. Let's have a look. Are they all happy? Appearances. So, Meslier played every game. Rafinha played every game. Again, another good season for him. How did Ward-Prowse get on? He scored 4 and 9 assists. So, it's a good first season for him. Exactly what we wanted from him. Calvin Phillips, 4 goals, 4 assists. Expected better, to be fair. I mean, he is more of a defensive player, but he can play box to box and Carrilero, which is where we wanted him. But we'll see. What about Jack Harrison? Because he surprised me the most on this game. 10 goals, 9 assists. I mean, if we look from when he first, 6 goals, 6 assists in the first season in the Prem. Second season, 11 goals, 5 assists. So he's getting better. I can't really complain with him too far. He's doing a good job. Sesko, what was he like? 12 goals? I mean, you expect more from a striker, to be fair, don't we? He needs to be giving us more. I might need to replace him with somebody else. Apart from that, Eze, I mean, he didn't even make one start. It's a shame. Angelo, 7 goals, 2 assists in 28 appearances. I mean, it's not too bad. Quite good for your first season. Right, competitions. So, as we know, we were knocked out early in both competitions, so I'm not too happy about that. We're definitely going to have to improve the squad. It seems to be getting worse. We've only been given 42 mil this time, so we're going to have to be pretty careful of how we conduct the transfer window this time. See where we can go with that. So I'm going to go off, make some transfers, and I will be back at the end of the transfer. Okay, the transfer window is now closed. I've made a few signings. I've got Luke Thomas on loan. I know you can see the loan fee, 7 mil. It's a lot. It's not great, but there is an option to buy there for just over 16 mil. So there's a bit of money there for him. Got a couple of free transfers in. Taylor Harwood Bellis. He's quite a young centre back. I think he'll be released by Man City. Try to send him out on loan, see if he can improve. So far nobody seems to be wanting to take him. They might do in January. We'll just keep trying. Anthony Martial. I know he's not, I mean his stats are good. I've got him really just to bulk up the squad. He's only on 29.5k a week, which is not too bad. He can play on the wing, he can play up top. He's not great, but he's here anyway. You never know, he might surprise us all and do something. Carlos Alina, central midfielder, can also play attacking. He's a good player. He's somebody we needed, I think. I'm hoping he'll open up the spaces and we might score a few more goals. He's certainly one of those playmakers. I mean, his history, he's not really assisted many over the last 6 years, to be honest, which is not good. Hopefully he'll create a lot more chances for me. And the last one, Joe Aribo, 26 rising to 28.5 mil from Rangers. I mean, I never once thought I'd be signing him, but his stats, they look really good, and I'm hoping he'll fit into this team. He can play central attack, he can play in central midfield, so it gives me options. He can also go on the wing if I need him to. I mean, he looks pretty good. His history, yeah, he didn't really play for Rangers last season, but he did score 2 in 4 games and assist 1. He also scored 9 in 38. I mean, they only paid 300,000 for him, so it's a good sale for them. I'm hoping he's going to be a good buy for us. On the outs, yes, you saw it, Patrick Bamford has gone. He's not the only player to go. I've lost Stuart Dallas, Click, Lorente. So all the core squad have gone now. It's not something I wanted to do, unfortunately. These 3 didn't leave me with a lot of choice, but I'm hoping I've improved them well enough. Right, start of the season, we beat West Ham 1-0. We lost to Spurs, beat Sunderland in the Cup and lost to Chelsea, so we've not started off great. So let's see how we get on at the end of the season. I'm hoping we can be up here in the top 7. Let's find out. Okay, we're back. Season's finished. How did we get on? Finished 11th. So we're actually getting worse now. I don't really know what to say about this. We've scored 59, conceded 63, so we're conceding more goals, not scoring as many, and we're not winning enough games. So we're actually 21 points off 6th. But what is interesting is we've got 3 teams above us who've all qualified as well. So all 3 of those must have won a cup. And it's not good that Newcastle have, with the money they've got. Man United finished 8th, something wrong there. Everton 6th. West Ham in 3rd. I mean, you can only blame the manager, I suppose. So there's something I'm doing wrong. Let's find out. I mean, we had an alright start here. We went on a bit of a run. Lost to Villa again. We seem to be doing that quite a lot lately. Lost to Brentford. It's not a good sign. We're down to 10 men. But we shouldn't be losing these games. Then we had a bad run of form here. Lost to Newcastle. Drew with Arsenal. We beat Leicester though. Drew with United. Drew with City. Lost to Brighton. But drew with Arsenal. I mean, some of these results aren't great. Losing to West Ham. Getting beat by City. And then it looks like towards the end of the season we're just shocking. Team just seemed to give up completely. I mean, we conceded a lot of goals. 10 goals in 3 games there. 14 in 5. And we only scored 6, so that's not good. I mean, we beat Liverpool last game of the season, but we shouldn't be losing some of these games. Something needs to change. How do we get on in the competitions then? Knocked out in the 4th round and knocked out in the quarter-final. So we got to the quarter-final. We got beaten by Man United. And Brentford actually went and won that on penalties against Man United. FA Cup. Newcastle won it against Man City. That's a lot going on there. Okay, top goal scorer, who was it? Rafinha. There's no surprise really, he's been the top goal scorer for the last 2 or 3 years now. Instead of buying a new striker, I actually went with Joe Gelhardt. He scored 14 goals, so he's paid me back quite a bit. I've put him as attacking forward, and he's not done too bad. I mean, I expect more goals, especially after he's scored all those for Anderlecht, but maybe it's the formation we're playing in. Well, it's Jack Harrison again, 12 goals. Sesko's got 6. Again, he can only improve. He just needs to play more, let's be honest. Apart from that, the rest of the goals is just non-existent down there. Assists, Ward-Prowse again. It's not really a surprise, to be honest. No, we got some assists from the right back. Rafinha's up there again. Average rating though, Creswell. Good lad. I mean, I've put him in, and he's doing well for me so far. But we definitely need to change something. I mean, we've got a tactic. Is it working? It doesn't seem to be. But I'm lost, to be honest with it. Finances, nearly 40 mil. I mean, it's probably the lowest we've had so far. Let's see where we were predicted to finish. Season preview. So the predicted is 11th. We actually finished 11th. So, look at that one spot on. I can only hope next season we can be better. Need to a bit of a squad overhaul, I think, and see how we get on. Hopefully we'll improve and push for Europe. Let's sign. Okay, so the transfer window is now closed. As you can see, we just made the one signing. We went for a striker. Hoping he makes a difference. Score a few goals. I mean, he's scored 1, got 2 assists so far in 3 games, so far so good. We did sell some players. We sold Ebri Eze for 25 million. He went to Spurs. He wasn't getting in our team anyway, so might as well cash in on him. And we also sold Rannan. He went to Brighton. He wasn't good enough. Didn't improve the way I thought he would. Not good enough left back, and not good enough to play centre back. So sell him on, get the money in, and we was going to try and make some more signings, but I went against it and just messed with the tactic a little bit more. So I've changed the centre defensive mid to an anchor, hoping that'll help. He'll sit in front of the back 4, find all the little pockets, make sure there's nobody running with the ball, try and take them out. Any loose balls he'll pick up, and he'll just play a nice little ball to Phillips or Ward-Prowse, and hope they can deal with everything. Phillips' role's changed now. He's now a deep line playmaker, so he'll drop back a little bit and start pinging the balls, hopefully to Ward-Prowse or Rafinha, Harrison, and they can play in Gelhardt. We'll see where we go from there. Competition wise so far, we've played 3 games. We're doing pretty well, we've won all 3. So we beat Bournemouth 4-1, beat Villa 2-0, and we beat Brentford 2-1. So it's a good start for us. Long may it continue. It's the final season now, and I just hope I can break into that top 6, top 7, and go from there. Let's find out. Okay, so season 5 has just finished. Let's have a look where we came. We finished 5th, which is good. Very, very good. I was not expecting that. I was hoping just to be in the top half, to be honest. We were 1 point behind Man City. And by the look of it, we lost our last 2 games, so we could have been further up the league. I think we should have a look at the schedule. We'll see how we get on. So right to the start. So at the start, as we know, we were joint top of the league. We then drew with Forest. We shouldn't be drawing with Forest, but it's one of them, isn't it? 5-3 against Manchester United. So we beat those comfortably. We lose to Palace. We shouldn't be losing a game like that. We beat Arsenal, Watford. We get knocked out by Newcastle in the Cup. Beat Chelsea. We beat City. It's quite a good month that, really. We scoring a lot of goals at the look of things, and not conceding too many. We lose to Liverpool. We lose to West Ham. We're losing the close games. Again, we're not conceding that many, but we're scoring quite a few at the time, at the look of things. Another poor run of form there in the Prem, couple of games lost, but we beat Liverpool again. So is that the... Oh no, we lost to the first game, so we didn't do the double over them. We're then going on a bit of a losing streak. 3 Prem games in a row. We beat Man City in the semi-final of the Cup. We then beat them in the league. We beat Forest and then we lose. We lose 3 games in a row, and one of them is the Cup final. We lose to United in the last game of the season, unfortunately. Competitions then. So we were runner-up. It's a shame. It was a good run. We've come 5th, runner-up in the Cup. I'd say last season, success really. It's where we wanted to be. Rafinha's hit 29 goals this season. I mean, it's a great return. Pinamonti is at 24. I was not expecting him to make that many. Harrison's got 11. Angelo's at 6. Aribo is at 6. Martial's at 6. Gelhardt, he's not played that many, he scored 2. Sesko's unfortunately not played at all. But never mind. Assist wise, Nico 12. Ward-Prowse with 11, so I can't complain with that. Why did I not change the tactic earlier? That is the question. It seems to have worked quite well. But I'd say it's a success from my point of view. They've given us 82 million to spend if we wanted to. Further ahead than where we should have been. So they're just expecting mid-table finishes every time. We're ahead of schedule on that one. So all in all, I think we've done a pretty good job. Finished where we needed to be finished. Shame we couldn't have done it earlier, but we got there in the end. Leeds United are back in Europe. Scored 71 and conceded 44, so the defence and the attack improved there, which is great. Everything I wanted to do we've pretty much done so far, so there we go. If you like what you've watched, please subscribe and drop any comments into the any comments you have. Let me know. Anybody you'd wish me to manage in the future.